What is one of the best ways to generate immediate profit, cash flow, and bolt on a business that is going to bring you your best clients, your best partners, your best deals, and all the people that are going to support you in growing your business and help you, whether it's acquiring new businesses or whatever it is you want to do in your industry? There's no better way than to do it than having your own mastermind. Now, hi, I'm Ed O'Keefe. I've run masterminds for over 20 years. I actually entered the dental profession 22 years ago with very little experience, no experience in dentistry at all. But I proved that you can go into an industry that you don't know anything about, and by being the orchestrator of talent, greatness, and community, you can have a very, very profitable business for many years. And the one thing I want to say to you also, whether you think this is for you or not, or you're not really sure yet, stick with me, because right now in 2025, and I believe in 2026, you're going to see a re-emergence of community masterminds in person that want to spend a lot of money with you to get interaction with you. But the best part is you get to do it in a one-to-many format. It allows you to have a life, allows you to have free time, and allows you to impact more people through that. So today we're going to be talking about why you should have a mastermind, who should be actually running it, how to start from scratch, or if you are currently in it, I'm going to tell you the most common blockages that guys ask me questions about, like whether you should have exclusivity or not, and what's the best way to grow it, what's the best way to get leads and clients into it. And so many of those types of questions, how to structure the meetings, whether virtual or in person, and many, many more things. Now, let me go through why you should consider having a mastermind if you're a service provider, current business owner, you're already successful, or you're already running a coaching club or a consulting business. And deep down, you're like, hey, I want to be able to be one of those guys that brings people together. I think the one thing that you first got to understand is that, number one, you don't have to be the person that knows everything. In fact, I would say those masterminds have the slowest life form. Like if it's just a guru sitting on a chair in the front of the room, and I've been in those, it gets pretty old pretty quickly. The magic is always in your ability to curate talent, what your audience needs, and also it relieves pressure off your shoulders so that you can actually enjoy being a part of it. And selfishly, you can ask yourself, where do I want to be in 3 years? Where's all the places I want to go? How do I bring in those types of experts that help me go to those places? And you get paid while doing that. There can't be a better opportunity than that. The other thing that I would say is I've had clients that say they're in multi-investment or multi-unit investing in apartment buildings, say, and they're vertically integrated in a local area. Well, if they think about it and they start building a community and then they start charging for that community, immediately they'll have deal partners, they'll have capital, they'll have the next best deals flowing to them. And the mastermind actually becomes a lead generation system for them. And I would say that's true for every single person. If I went through each industry and every niche that we work with, the best deals, the best future opportunities are sitting in that group, because you're bringing together a group of winners, people that value their investing in themselves, they want to grow, they want to be around other winners, and it's really priceless to think about that. The other benefit of this is if you do one-on-one work, whether it's done for you, whether it's consulting, you'd be surprised that just by simply launching a mastermind, and we'll talk about price points, we'll talk about different ways to structure it in a minute, and there's other resources I'll tell you about in a second, but you'll be surprised at how not only will you add like 90% net profits to your business because you're already paying for the infrastructure, the overhead, and your team. You'd be amazed that the retention and the quality of your client improves because you're bringing an entirely new element to what service and offers you provide, but it prevents them from going elsewhere to get that part of their ecosystem or their emotional intelligence, whatever it might be, satisfied. I like to teach a really simple concept when I'm on stage, and this actually pre-sales a mastermind on behalf of my clients or when I'm running it. And it's the idea that, I do a little framework. I'll be like, 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 11, right? The power of the tribe. And that, as it says in the Game of Thrones, the 2 sisters are on the castle, and they had just reconquered their castle back after years of being separated and death and destruction and battles, right? Great movie, great series. But the 2 sisters say to themselves, like, as the snow's coming down, one of the sisters says to the other one, remember what Father said. In the winter, the lone wolf dies while the pack survives, right? And so the inference there was that they need to stay connected as a family unit and work together at doing it, because when we're all separated, we die. I would say that's the same thing that's true with business owners and entrepreneurs. A lot of times we get success as we plow through, like from phase 0 to the next level, to the first level, and even to the next level. But the reality is that you can get pretty far on rugged individualism and grit and fight and whatever that might look like. But there's a point where the complexities, the chaos, the uncertainties start getting overwhelming, and we're all, no one's immune to failure. So we're going to make mistakes and have setbacks. That's where the power of the tribe really comes into power. And then the other side of that, and this is kind of more just really, these are all sales points of why your members need to be in your mastermind, but I'm also explaining to you why you should have one. Because right now, let's say you have 20 people in a mastermind. Let's say you charge $1,000 a month. Let's say you charge $2,500 a month. Let's say you charge, we have some clients charging $5,000 a month or $60,000 a year. And I always encourage people to create a $50,000, even $100,000 mastermind, even if you don't even know what that's going to look like, because it forces your brain to think differently. What I always say is that if you have 20 people out there testing different things every 90 days, when we come back, we have a concept called multiplied testing, which is when you come back to me or to us, this group here, you have everybody bringing new awarenesses, new wisdom to the table that's all experience-based. And as changes happen with algorithms, as changes happen with media, as changes happen with staff, whatever it might be for you that brings constant challenges, since we're constantly coming back together, it allows us to stay updated and not get left behind, and we're not doing it alone. Success breeds loneliness. It just really does. The better you get at something, the more you're in that top 3%. There's less people there. There's less people that understand you. There's less people that can solve your problems because you have bigger problems. And the fact of the matter is, those are all sales points as to why people who maybe you're providing services should be traveling and visiting to you, whether it's virtually or in person. I like in person as well as a new element, especially now that the pandemic's over. In person's flying back, and people are loving it more than ever. Is that these people get more work done the 3 weeks before your mastermind, so they're held emotionally, peer pressure, accountability. But what's so cool about this is that now they're actually getting results, and it's happening time and time again. So not only are they being kept up to date what's going on, they're getting results. So these are all the benefits for your clients, whether you're an agency, whether you're a consultant, whether you dump for you stuff, you should have a mastermind. Okay. Now I got 7 more points I want to talk to you about of how to actually package it and actually how to grow it. But first I want to say, if you have a mastermind or would like to grow one, make sure you look in the description below. I have a free mastermind super pack, ton of free gifts to give you, but it will also tell you how you can work with me on either crafting your offer, coming out to a 2-day event with us, or if you already have a super successful mastermind and you run events and you'd like to explore having me come in as an event wingman to seed your audience. And I'll talk about that as one of the advanced tips here in a second, so that they're more likely and more inspired, and they realize the value and the benefit of being in your inner circle. You'll have the opportunity to see that below. Okay. So you just click on that. It's free. Check it all out. And then you'll see how we can work together. Plus I'll give you a ton of free goodies. Okay. Back to this training here. So the first question is like, what? I don't even know how to start a mastermind. Like, where would I even begin it? So I'll start with that part, and then I'll answer some advanced questions so that my advanced people over here aren't bored by my languaging. So let me just tell you my story. So when I went into dentistry, I was like 25, 26, as a coach and consultant. I was selling a course. And so we were charging anywhere between $797 up to $3,000 for a course. But we know that if people are left on their own, they're not going to do it on their own. That's why books are great lead magnets to bring people in. But the fact of the matter is like less than 10% of people finish a book or read a book, right? However, those are great leads. Those are great potential best buyers for you. So please have a book, sell it, get those people in. But one of the best things that I recommend doing, and this is probably one of the fastest way to actually move people up the ladder, is you either like create a fast start day or you create a power day. You could do it virtual, but nothing's going to sell better than in person. I'm just letting you know that. If you have the ability of inviting people to an event, keep the cost low, okay? No reason to go crazy. Don't go out and hire a $100,000 speaker if you're just starting out. But you invite people to get into a room that allows you to create transformational insight and value for them over a day, 2 day, excuse me, period. Now, when you do that, there's different ways to structure it. I'm not going to cover it in this entire video here, but it's really, if you can imagine with me, it's really just one long sales letter where you're going to identify the problems that they're having. You're going to create a community where they get to see other people so they're not alone. You get to create transformational insight, and transformation is the key, by the way, not pounding them with content, because content is available everywhere. So if success was equated to content, everyone would be successful because it's everywhere. Which your job in that setting is to create transformational insight where they see like, wow, this person here, that's you, is the authority on solving this problem. Does that make sense? And so if you're able to do that, they're going to naturally ask themselves the question, well, how do I work with this guy or gal? And how do I get deeper into this relationship? And this is the real authority. Now, you can do this across 3-day, 5-day challenges. You can do this across 1 hour to 3 hour workshops. What I just challenge you to do is to focus on your ability to identify their problem and create insight as to why it's not solved, and then present a new path and plan that's different than what they've done in the past. Whether it's virtual, whether it's in 1 hour, longer helps, guys. It just does. Whether it's 3 hours, if they've spent money to get into it, exponentially better leads. And then if they've bought a product, so they've shown that they're a buyer, then go ahead and send a bounce back offer. We run a it's normally $1,000 fast start day. That does X, Y, and Z, your number one benefit without the number one pain. And we're hosting it in Chicago where I live, right? And so you invite them to come to it, and they come to it, and then you have an upsell. Now, if you already have a mastermind, that is also the best way to get people to upgrade, is that you invite them to a day before your mastermind event, a fast start day, and then you invite mastermind members to come in and to be 20-minute presenters, case studies, testimonials, and you structure it that way as well. We help our elite clients do this. We actually have the sales letters and actually the structure of the event. I actually have a video up on my YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description below, where I go over a pretty advanced structure of the event. But the key thing you need to be doing, listen to me, it's very important, is identify their pain problems that no one else has been able to identify, show them a new path, and then if you have social proof and case studies, great. It's amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing, right? Now, that's the best way in my mind to sell it. Does it work to get on people on the phone calls? Yes. I mean, of course it does. We use primarily Google Docs, video, YouTube, and cold email at mass to bring our leads in. And then we retarget using Facebook. Okay. That's kind of our media buying frameworks there. Okay. How do we structure it? So I'm going to talk about in-person masterminds for a moment. Okay. Just because I think that's what I want to talk about. Specifically on this one. We just helped one of our mastermind guys sell more guys at his live event. And his is structured really, really simply. He's got 3 core events in masterminds a year in really nice locations. They're in the legal space. And then they have 1 super conference. So that's 4 events. He charges a layered price point, right? If you're below 2 million, let's just say it's like 2,000 a month. If you're above 2 to 5 million, let's just say you're at 3,000 a month. And if you're beyond 5 million, it's just, I'm making these numbers up. I'm not giving away his private data. Let's say it's 5,000 a month. And those are all good ranges. Like, I would encourage you to think around those ranges because it allows you to cater to the people where they're currently at. But price is an elastic thing. So if you want to charge 30,000, let's charge 30,000. If you feel you want to charge 7,500, let's charge 7,500. But one thing I would challenge you with is that you can get 7,500 for a 2-day intensive if you're targeting the right buyer and you're solving the right pain point. He's fine, honey, if you need to let him come in. So we have toddlers that run around my house sometimes and stuff like that. So that's how I would structure that. And then you either go weekly Zoom trainings or whatever it might look like, or Google Meetups, or bi-weekly. Depends on your audience. Do you add other modules like team training or other resources that they may have? The answer to that is yes. Anything that will get the solution for the person. You are the orchestrator. You do not have to be the person who does everything. Okay? So if you can wrap that around your head, now how do you launch this to your existing database? Very, very simple. You're going to say, hey, you're going to write an email. And it's going to be really simple. It's going to be like, hey, experiment, or hey, question. And it says, I'm thinking of bringing together 10 to 20 of these people and lay it out like doctors doing over 2 million a year in their practice who are looking to go to 3 million. If I put that together and I had it here in Chicago, would that interest you? And just see if guys respond. You could post that on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on whatever your socials might be. I'm looking for 10 people that are trying to grow their dental practice from 2 million to 5 million, or 1 million to 2 million, whatever your kind of thing is. Get those hand raisers. When they come in, you say, hey, Bob, great. I put a little invite together. You might want to qualify them a little bit, but I'm just keeping this super simple. And you send like them a 4-page invite or a 1-page invite that says, look, it's going to be here. This is what we're going to cover. We're going to solve these problems. It's going to be amazing. Okay. Normally the investment is this, but I'm going to drop it to this because this is my beta launch, right? And I'm only hosting it for 12 people. Do you want to know something? If nobody responds, guess what? Nobody cares. And you might hear a little voice. That's my little toddler in the back. So we're all good. I don't kick them out when we have video. So if it bothers you, well, then maybe I'm not your flavor. Okay, so what else do I want to cover? Okay, so here's the deal. Hybrid masterminds. If you run services for people, should you integrate them? I don't like integrating them, and I'll tell you why. Because what happens is if somebody cancels your service, now your mastermind's automatically canceled. If somebody cancels your mastermind, then they also cancel your service. So one thing to keep in mind is if you're going to launch this thing, what I highly recommend is you create a credit for them. Like since you're in this service, we're going to credit your account $2,000 that you can apply towards our mastermind. And that's how you get around that. Now, one other big question that's come in, I'm going to shoot a whole nother video on this channel because I get it all the time. Should you offer exclusivity? Now, I say no, and I'm going to give you 2 reasons, right? Number one, I've done exclusivity. My whole dental implant, territory exclusive workshops and new patient attraction system, when I was doing that in dentistry for over 15 years, was based on exclusivity. Here's the biggest problem. Your best areas get gobbled up quickest, right? So like, let's say it's St. Louis, right? I got all these different, let's say Chicago, because I live in Chicago. There is more people in Chicago and in let's just take Schaumburg. Schaumburg's a great example. Like, well, I live in Schaumburg. I want to be the only guy in Schaumburg. We'll edit this one. That's okay. Fix it, and then I'll just keep on. I'll just edit it out. Wrap this better. We're all good. I'm gonna edit this.
No, I'll just bring it out here.
Okay, just let me finish this and then we'll go. Okay. So like if the guy's in Schaumburg and he's like, I want all of Schaumburg. All right. Yeah, we gotta move it. We gotta move it just because I gotta finish this paper.
You have to move it, Billy.
Billy, we're gonna move it.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye really fast. Really fast.
Will you help me?
Bye-bye.
You just say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi. We're gonna move it,
Say
okay?
bye-bye really fast. Sorry.
Let's go. Let's go.
No. No.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
I got it. Billy, here we go. Help me. Poke. We are the bond back. Billy. Okay, March. Who can say March? March.
Let's go to the board.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Okay, so the guy in Schaumburg is like, hey, I want all of Schaumburg. Here's the deal, dude. If I'm going to put my little pink hat on because it looks really good. My kids make fun of me the entire time. But if I want to give exclusivity just to Schaumburg, now I can't sell it to anybody. And the fact of the matter is there's more people in Schaumburg than one person can ever have, right? So stick with me because this is going to be this will save you and possibly make you multiple seven figures in errors and in good decisions. Is I'm a 49-year-old white male, right? Certain people are going to be attracted to my ads over, say, a 32-year-old Hispanic female, okay? It's just facts of life, right? So why would I limit their growth and why would I limit my growth based on this? Now, so here's what you can do on this, right? I'm going to give you two people to veto. So they feel like they're getting exclusivity, and they are. But it's not preventing you from growing your business. Does that make sense? Now, I got to tell you a quick little story on this. I once had two dentists run the same ad, but it had their names in it because we would provide done-for-you ads, right? In the Chicago Sun-Times at that time, I don't even know if it still exists anymore because they print so much, like whatever. We won't go into that. But it's like this thin now, right? But back in the day, it used to be like this thick, right? You'd get it on Sundays, right? And so they would get people from all over the area. They would lump them all in. So they were able to get different suburbs to run ads. And so anyhow, long story short is there was multiple ads. Guess what? Both of them had more leads that month than they ever have in their life, right? Both of them are going to make money. Why? Because my theory is that by having multiple of the same messages, people are in that idea and thinking line. They're like, okay, cool. Oh, I see it. That's why when you drive down the highway and you see Top Dog Law, and then you see a different law firm. I mean, you drive around Chicago, it's the only things I see are law, personal injury, attorney, what do you call them? I want to say banners. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, there's a reason for that because they work for that industry and they make enough money in order to justify the multiple impressions. So don't do that. It'll save you a lot of money, allow you to keep growing your business. And the fact of the matter is that you may end up having multiple masterminds for different levels. You may end up having an opportunity to launch a new program. You don't want to have your hands tied because of a promise that you made for exclusivity. Okay. What's another thing that I want to share with you on this? Well, the hybrid mastermind, where I do think there's value in that. One last thing on that. Like if I have a franchise or I have a licensing program, that's considered a service in some ways, right? And so then adding on and integrating your mastermind will only make it a more powerful, supercharged thing. Your clients will be better. The retention will be better because I promise you, People will get around 9th, 10th month in. If there's no community, they're gone. Does that make sense? And I always felt that with my masterminds or my live events, if we do them in Chicago or if we're just going to travel, my kids and my family are part of the thing. So you become friends with the people that you're becoming best buyers with that are also your best buyers. Okay. Now, how to run killer mastermind meetings. I'm going to create a separate module on this because this is so vital. I have attended 4 different live events in the last 2.5 weeks. 2, I was hired to be there. 2, I was just watching to see how they ran the event. 1, I was an attendee. Actually, so I've been at 5. And what I will tell you is that most leaders of events are awful at running events. Like, it is literally a talent to build out facilitation and be a facilitator of people's experiences and of greatness. Okay. So, Ed, what do you mean by that? That's a pretty harsh comment. Like, first of all, facilitating from the front of the room and speaking in a way that grabs people's attention, that facilitates a great environment is a learnable skill. I was fortunate to, when I came out of college, I was already doing motivational talks. So I was learning how to become a better speaker. I was getting trained as a speaker. And then I started learning copywriting. I was doing all that before I got into dentistry. So when I launched my first little mastermind and 10 doctors showed up and I knew barely crap jack about how to help them grow their practice, but I was excited, I was inspired, I knew my vision, what I wanted, I felt I could help them, and I knew I was only going to get better at it. Those are key attributes for you. The fact of the matter is that years have gone by, and the reality is that here's a couple of things I can tell you about facilitating masterminds, okay? Number 1, they're coming there with a lot of resistance. People just have resistance. So one of the quick ways you got to break resistance is that your lead up to the mastermind, send them some case studies, get them some reminders, let them know what's going to happen when they get there. When they get there, the first thing you need to do is create, you welcome them. Hey, we're going to cover some things. Before we get started, here's 3 questions I want you to answer. And then you have up on your whiteboard or your PowerPoint, whatever it might be, what is one thing I'm grateful for or one thing I'm proud of that happened in the last, those are 2 questions, but you can, that could be 1 and 2 for all I care. You can give 4 questions. It'll reset the tone of their emotional states, and it will put the whole room in a high dopamine environment looking at you. That's called an anchor. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Number 3 is, what is the number 1, or what do I do? And give me a 30-second or 90-second background of like myself. So then they get to talk about themselves, what they do in their business to a group of 4. I'll tell you how that works in a second. And then the last thing they get to say is, one challenge or one thing I'm looking to solve, I'm really hoping to get out of this that would be worth over $250,000 if I solved it. So now they reframe the value of why they're there, and it gets them crystal clear on a focal point, okay? And they're doing that with a group of 4. You could do it with a group of 3. 5 gets a little big for my initial point, because all I want to do in this first exercise that I'm going to do in my first 15 minutes is get them in an environment where they're going to have 3 minutes each to go through that times 4. Can you do the math with me? We're looking at 12 minutes, and then I'll extend that out to 15 minutes just for like some wiggle room on that, right? Now, what I will tell you right now is that you're going to have a hard time bringing them back into, like, after their groups. You're going to have some groups that won't stop talking and some groups here. That is exactly what you want. You want the chaos. You want, oh my gosh, because when you bring entrepreneurs, when you bring people, you bring them into a room, and now they're actually engaging with each other. They're out of their house, they're out of their office, they're out of their normal routine. They feel like a teenager again, because now they're like back being a normal person. It's amazing. So right there, and there's a way to bring them back. Like, I mean, I have a lot of tricks where you go like, okay, you have all the time in the world. You got 30 seconds left. Okay. Thank your partner. High five each other. Whatever it might be. Okay. Eyes back to the front of the room. Okay. That group over here. And you make it playful. Come on. Then you bring you back in. During that time, and I'll talk more about it in another training on this, but during that time, I'm walking around the room and I'm touching people like on their shoulders. How are you guys doing over here? Hey, what's up, Matt? You look great. Great to see you here. And that's just a little bit more of the personal connection, making people feel like you're in the right place. And if I can accomplish, if I can accomplish those types of things and get them engaged in the first 30 minutes, you are now on a smooth track to having an amazing experience. Okay. I can go on. I love running those because what's really cool about this is now, super powerful like that. Okay. Now, a couple things on this before I move in. So facilitating the whole thing, I'm going to do a separate video on that because there's a lot of stuff and we can spend a day on that. But the one thing to notice is, and I had to learn this the hard way. There's a concept in facilitating where you go from it's called small group to big group. And what do I mean by that? Small group to big group, which means if I'm in a room of say 30 people or 300 people, it's very intimidating for one person to talk in front of 30 people or 15 people or even 10 people about if I just had them do those 4 questions. You don't do it that way. Why? Because the room's not in rapport yet. It's not warmed up yet. And I see facilitators just doing this all the time. Like, okay, there's 20 of us. Let's all tell each other who we are and what we're going to do. That's not what you do. You get in groups of 3 or 4 and you do exactly what I just explained because it creates a warm, inviting group. And then as the day goes on, I now pass the microphone out to different people, after different things are taught. They get in groups of 3 or groups of 2 or groups of 6. We're expanding the size of the group. What's one thing you took away? What's one thing you like to give to the group? What's one burning share? And then now, before we go to lunch, when we come back, we're always doing this now. Now I can pass the microphone out and that one person can be in front of 300. That one person can be in front of 30. It's not as intimidating. You just kind of warmed up the water, so to speak. And it's super, super powerful stuff. So it's really, really great. Okay. So let me know, leave a comment below, guys. What am I missing? What are questions do you have that you'd like me to answer? Because we're going to do a whole series on how to start and grow and scale your mastermind. And then there's ways to partner with other people. There's ways to get sponsors to pay for all your advertising for your masterminds. There's very, very specific ways to launch 2-day, 3-day events, and then you sell it while you're there. Very in-depth structure on that. Okay. You got to make sure that it's planned extremely well. It doesn't have to be difficult. It could be easy and fun, but you just want to make sure the planning is done right so that the right people are speaking at the right time and we're seating the room, which is actually what we do as a service. So if you're interested in that, if you'd like to know how I can either come in and keynote one of your events and set the stage for the room, I could do event consulting with you, or you could just click on the link and get a bunch of free stuff and get your mastermind or coaching club or hybrid thing started, launched, and put cash in your bank account. That's another great thing. Please check out the description below. So, hey guys, that's it for today. One thing I want to just encourage you on is there's not a business owner or an entrepreneur or an investor or somebody who's exited with a big exit that should not, in my opinion, if they want to find ways to collaborate, impact, and also make money, get better deals, get better leads, surround themselves with better and better people who should not be either growing their own mastermind or fostering even another, whether it's a free, low cost, big ticket mastermind. So you constantly are bringing people around yourself. So you have an iron sharpened iron environment. So tip, I'm Ed O'Keefe. Thanks for watching this. And please check out the next video above and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, fellas.